This is Total Disruption Boardroom Battleground, where bold entrepreneurs step up and they put their businesses to the test.
Over the next 12 weeks, we'll push our contestants beyond their limits in branding, marketing, leadership, strategy, scalability, and profitability. Every move counts. Every misstep, a crucial lesson. Every victory, a moment to shine. Behind the scenes, a world-class production team will showcase their business like never before.
In the end, a single superstar is going to rise above the rest.
This is Total Disruption.
Boardroom Battleground.
Welcome back to Boardroom Battleground. I'm Michael LaBursi, your no-nonsense navigator through the minefields of business ambition, misplaced confidence, and an occasional brilliant comeback.
And I'm Dr. Glendening. I'm a growth strategist, a mindset architect, and the guy who can spot a breakthrough coming 3 bad habits ahead of time.
Last episode was all about vision, real direction, grounded in truth. This week, we get more personal.
This is about identity, resilience, the quiet internal grind. Today, we're going to examine the journey, not just the metrics, but the mindset shifts that tell us where our contestants are coming from.
We've watched these entrepreneurs pivot and push through. Now it's time to step back and look clearly at what's changed and what hasn't. We're going deeper into their personal stories, stakes, scars, and the breakthroughs.
Today, we're praising resilience, not polish. We're looking for true internal growth, the kind that defines all of us.
And as always, the boardroom weighs 4 critical criteria. Execution. Did they deliver? Growth. Did they evolve? Strategy. Is it working? Leadership. Can they drive the mission forward?
Let's find out who's really transforming and who's talking a lot about it.
It comes down to reality, and it's fine with me 'cause I let it slide.
Grew up singing a lot with my dad, obviously. We did a lot of karaoke. I would always sing at school talent shows. Actually, I was the youngest of 3 siblings, and my parents had me in piano lessons. But as the youngest, they were sick and tired of hearing all 3 kids be like, we don't want to practice, we don't want to practice. So, 10 years of that with my older siblings, and then I come along, they're finally like, you know what, we're done. We're not paying for lessons anymore. So I actually only had a very few amount of piano lessons as a kid. It wasn't until 6th grade when I decided I wanted to play again. And I was like, please put me in lessons, please. My parents said, no, you have to prove it. You have to prove that you want it. And so I tried to remember the 1 year of piano lessons I had when I was 8 years old. And I had to get my sheet music out, and I wrote every single letter. But I started that goal at the beginning of my 6th grade year. And by the end of it, I played it for my school talent show. And it was finally at that point, my parents were like, oh, okay, you obviously care. We'll get you back into lessons. But my biggest goal was to be able to play and sing at the same time. So that's why you can always find me at a piano somewhere singing for myself. It's my biggest joy. And my older brother, he was a huge musician like I am. He did a lot of hardcore heavy metal rock. And so, he's like the classic 90s emo, like gauges, tattoos everywhere, but like the sweetest heart, just the sweetest kid you'll ever meet. And so I obviously looked up to him a lot. He tried so hard to make a career out of music. That was like his biggest goal, to the point where he would just be homeless for a while. So I would hear him on our local radio. They would interview him, and he would play his original songs. And he was just so passionate about it, and I looked up to him a lot. And sadly, he passed away, but before he did, we had some recordings. So I actually went and recorded it when I was 16, and it's called Steer Clear of the Angels, one of his songs that we got recorded. And so I sang it, and we got it produced, and I released it, made a huge music video out of it that we filmed in my hometown. And it was just awesome to be able to share his music with the world, because I know that's all that he wanted. And now I'm just trying to share my passion with the world. And any chance that I can share his stuff, I try to. I have one bass student. She's hilarious. She's like 13, and she, for some reason, fell in love with that song, which is hard rock. Like, it's not easy listening for a 13-year-old girl. It's just crazy to me that, like, some 13-year-old girl loves my brother's song. It's kind of fun.
I think her impact's going to definitely improve in terms of her being able to fulfill the goals that she's trying to do. And that's what this is about, is leveling up her impact, leveling her up, getting herself in the right space for the right kind of thing so that she could show up each and every day and say, wow, yes, I'm going to bring this thing on a retail level, but I'm going to get this thing bigger and grow it on a national level. You know, put your thumbprint on it, or at least be in the conversation. Right now, she's not in that conversation. She needs to get in that conversation.
So Samantha was in this very exciting but really scary situation where she had the opportunity to expand and create an asset for herself at the same time. And I think she was just a little nervous on maybe the longevity or stability of her business, maybe making sure the cash flow is there. And I understand that. That is a legitimate concern. I would have loved to have been able to get her jump started with more revenue so she would have had the confidence to take the leap.
Everyone was really, really kind and gave me lots of good feedback. And I definitely have a lot to learn from all of them. I appreciate their help for sure. And I'm really excited to get to implement that into my business. And you know, whether I win or not, I learned a lot. And I'm grateful for the experience that I had here, and just excited to keep running my business and making it better every day.
If Sam put 10 hours a day that she's so dedicated on her JOB, if she had that to focus that amount of energy and that amount of creative energy into her business, oh my, the speed at which she could go is absolutely unbelievable because of the talent she has. But I think that's one of those, like, a lot of times we get hung up because we can't see it. We don't know what it looks like, and it's scary. So therefore, we just choose not to do it.
So I'd gone from a heavy sales job to a software support role at a software company. And I'm in my cubicle farm with my fellow code jockey, as we called ourselves. And he's like, hey, Donnie, you know what I've always wanted to do? I'm like, nah, Greg, I don't know what you've always wanted to do. It's like, I've always wanted to flip a house. Like, man, that's funny because I've always wanted to flip a house. And then the realization came that everybody kind of wants to do this, right? Despite doing everything wrong, buying the wrong house, not knowing our numbers, etc. We ended up listing that property, sold it, made a $17,846.32 profit each. But who's counting?
Hearing his journey of how he made that $17,385.32 profit with his partner, not knowing a darn thing about flipping houses, was amazing. The mission, how creative.
Right? And I cashed that check and I laid the money out on my bed. And so the takeaway was, anybody can do this, but like anything, there's a right way and a wrong way to do it. I had this line of checks that I was lining up around my cubicle. And as I closed deals, I would publish the checks and I was lining them up. And I was about 3/4 of the way through this cubicle, right? When I announced to everybody, I said, hey, listen, when this line of checks gets from this side of my cubicle to that side of my cubicle, when I complete the circle, I'm out.
The reason this show was created was to show the journey, the lifeblood of the entrepreneur, the lifeblood of what we do, what the coaching industry is about, what the mission of the entrepreneur is that personal and professional simultaneous journey.
And what's interesting about the entrepreneurial journey, a lot of people, who are watching this show or the contestants that were part of the show, is most of us realize somewhere along the way that we are unemployable by conventional means, right? I didn't get there sooner. That realization came from my employer. They said, you can't do this. I said, I don't understand why I can't do it. Their company, their rules. So I got canned.
And he made a couple of really aggressive decisions. He made a move into a different market. When I say a move, like he packed up and flew there and moved there and lives there now, and moved into a different market in a real estate market where a lot of people are very dubious and very concerned, and they're, but that's them. Donnie said, well, doesn't matter. You can make money in every market, in every real estate market, you can make money in it. And it's true.
What I think about investing, and really of any sort, but especially in the real estate space, because there are so many moving parts in this area, that it's just so important to get somebody to coach you through the first couple of deals. So right after I did my first deal, I went on a quest for a coach, an assistant. And I found a guy that ultimately changed my life in the same way that I take passion and heart for changing the lives by building wealth in my clients, But the key really was understanding this isn't something you should do on your own. It is very stressful. There's a lot of moving parts, a lot of stuff you don't know. And perhaps most pressing, it's scary. And you're going to make emotional decisions based on the fear that this goes to. If you really want to do this, hire me, hire another coach, get somebody who can walk you through it, because there's things you don't know they're going to stress you out for no reason, whereas a good professional coach can walk you through it.
So Donnie's the real deal, doing real things, making things happen. He has a new client, acquired a contract for the client in 4 days. Guy is just really is doing as much as he can to change lives and then make neighborhoods better.
I think that's what separates me from a lot of the guru mentorship coaching programs out there. You look at bigger names that are out there and very good at what they do, but they offer overarching information with no real desire to execute, right? It's more about, you paid me for knowledge, good luck. And I think the knowledge is super valuable. However, my system, as it develops, is going to get more and more client focused and more results driven. So I want clients doing 4 deals a year, but there's going to be outliers. There's going to be people who want to do 10 or 20 deals a year.
Donnie could survive the storm to get the luxury to take a sabbatical. Like if he could be doing 1 or 2 deals on the side where he doesn't have to run his current operation the way it's running right now, so he could take a step back and say, let me rework this a little bit, I think he would see what he's really sitting on. But it's so hard to get a perspective on yourself when you always have to play offense and defense. Donnie, dude, I'm a big fan of yours. You know that. So I just hope that you get a few deals that you're working on to where you get a little breathing room.
One of the things that we really saw in Donnie is revenue growth, because of, like you said, he's the real deal. He is able to acquire these properties and get them done and get them closed and make money for his investors incredibly fast.
When you focus on helping other people get what they want, you will always get what you want. And then that's been what's the driving force on this. All these deals that I provide to my clients are deals that I could have and will do if they don't do them, right?
It gave me nerves back in my face after a wreck 10 years ago. And I've helped people with brain injuries or lupus, that these things are all help your body to heal itself. And what beautiful thing about stem cells is they're smarter than us, and they go and fix whatever is broken in your body.
We talked ad nauseum about, her self-brand, trying to get her to believe in herself, to brand herself, to co-brand her plus the product.
What if I could help you work from wherever you wanted, work the hours you wanted, and earn whatever income, unlimited income as well along the way, all by having yourself feel better and helping others feel better along the way? Would you be interested in that?
Entrepreneuring is dirty. It's messy. It's gray. And she's having to embrace the gray. And she's never had to before.
So it's just something that is revolutionary in this world in health and wellness, and helping so many people perform better, live better, and that you get to make money from it. And it's really unlimited income potential.
She had a super positive experience and is taking creative ways and trying to transform animals and people's lives with her life patch, right?
Diesel, and he is a younger horse, but he's coming into his own. He got to go out on the rodeo road as Cameron's backup horse last summer. He spent a whole day jackpotting on him, and then randomly he was just rolling. He pulled this muscle getting up, and what we were getting told was he's going to probably be off for 6 months of pulling this stifle here.
We see her steering into her superpower, which is her desire to see, professional athletes and amateur athletes and anybody who needs help, and animal athletes be as healthy, the best possible versions of them that they possibly can. And more people are engaging with her because of that.
We patched him, of course, and he is almost better, ready to go back, and it's only been 6 weeks. So, when you get these bad, that's really what's converted our vet is into trying him for himself, is because the horses don't lie. This is Sammy, and this was my husband's good head horse. Oh gosh, he's had 4 years off of not being sound. His right foot was just always a little off, and so we started patching him, and we have used him all spring, and he has stayed sound from this patch too. It's just healing him.
This is my A-team horse. He's having a bunch of seizures. We put the Eon patch right here behind his head because this is where the most problems are. He worked outstanding. He warmed up good. He felt good when I rode in the box. Wasn't tight. Everything was outstanding.
The rodeo is not a cheap sport. Even when the kids are winning and paying their own way to feed the horses, buy them the best to compete at that next level of horses, I gotta find another $50,000 so Cole can go compete in the Rain Cow Horse. Being able to have that financial freedom along with the time freedom was a big lie to me too, that I finally found something that, you build a residual income and that anybody can do.
Her story is becoming very clear, and I see her business growing.
So my name is Corey Lapish Warfield. I'll be presenting on the future of intelligence.
And in my keynote, I delivered initiative at the Global Leader Summit. I was talking, interestingly enough, about IQ and intelligence and defining intelligence, but also I was talking about loving intelligence and can we teach computers love.
We're coming to an inflection point for humanity as a whole. And one of the companies that I've co-founded is actively teaching algorithms, computers, robots, what love is and why it matters. And so I'm going to talk to you for a few minutes about kind of how we've got to this point and what we can do about it.
I'm stepping in as CEO for a number of reasons, but one of them is I'm good at raising money.
So Corey was having to make some adjustments that have not been seen before. That's the very unique part of his journey, is it literally hasn't been done to where, you can follow basic standardized business models. And I think he does a great job of that.
Let's get this fundable, right? We know what assets we need. We know what needs, to exist in the data room. We know what the different, mandates of the different sources of capital are. I've got plenty of people in everything from family offices, private equity, venture capital.
Corey's super creative because he's doing the AI, loving it. Boy, what a warped creative game.
And from there, it's UBI time. Universal basic income is simply a distribution of cash to a population without strings attached.
And that's a factoid. The best tech newsletter vibes the opposite of a tabloid. Don't be mad, boy, just get nice and stay at it.
Building this community, teaching people how to use the tools, how to make their own tools, how to use the tools to book more gigs, get more visibility, right? Ultimately make more money. Right? Not everybody needs to be a tech entrepreneur, but I think lots of people want to be rock stars. It's human in the loop time, right? It's time to really make the impact that we can.
One of the goals of having our own place is being able to develop a training center, a training facility, ranges that are top tiered. When you come and train, you can come in and on ranges that are AstroTurf, come to our administrative building, go to the cafeteria, get some lunch on the balcony, looking at Pikes Peak. And then you go and you train your butt off. Once you get to train your butt off, come up and maybe have a cold beverage afterwards. Everything is taken care of. Even we're going to have a planning bay. We're going to have a gym. We're going to have 6 flat ranges. One of them is going to be an outdoor CQB range, like home defense type stuff. We're going to have a 1,000-yard range for our long distance shooters, our hunters.
But having him come into the community now and like acquire a property in the middle of nowhere and trying to make it work, and having his I-68 consulting, having his team, and now being responsible for others. Boy, all kinds of things. Just an incredible amount of things happening for that guy at once, which is, to me, impressive.
Another thing that we're going to do is we're going to build a city out of shipping containers. And so what that does is you can do force-on-force training with simunitions or paintball. So, you know, DOD and law enforcement can come here and train on that. Civilians, you can come and train on real home defense on that. So we're going to make it a bunch of rooms and cities and stuff like that. So I think we have the grit to continue to develop this property and to, you know, build that premier training facility in the state of Colorado.
They're going from the soldier servant to now the servant of the community to the entrepreneur to growth, flipping the switch, slowing the roll in one area, picking up steam in the other.
Now that I'm retired, I don't have the safety net of the military anymore. I have found something that can have a lot of impact in other people's lives. And that's why I think we're going to be successful.
Mark has been remarkable, about being able to juggle well. Now, this is where his military training has really paid off. The military trains you to compartmentalize, which in military terms means I'm going to block time in my universe and I'm only going to focus on one thing at a time. Because if Mark was trying to focus on all the things all at once swirling around him, he wouldn't be able to go as far as he is. His superpower is his ability to compartmentalize.
We're an empowerment company. Our goal is to empower you to have the capability to protect yourself and your loved ones, not just with one course, but with a continual involvement, engagement with the I-68 family, through our events, through everything that we're doing.
Why don't we just do what is the annual potential revenue generated from each client? Because then you can say, here's how much we can generate from this one person for 1 year. How many years can we keep them?
Yeah.
That's the best way to frame what you're doing, I believe.
We want to build a strong, stable, really a strong and stable company that not only does the top tier training, but is able to help the community. You know, financially, I said in one of the confession camp, I want to be able to support local initiatives in our community without ever having to look at my spreadsheet or checkbook. Oh, you need to be sponsored? Here you go. Just financially. And then be involved in those, you know, be the coaches on the baseball teams and softball teams and such. I say that because both my kids are playing ball right now. But that is the legacy I want this company to have. That's why we have such a sturdy gate to come on into the I-68 training facility, because that sturdy gate will be here for years and years to come.
Next time on Boardroom Battleground.
It started with chaos.
Exciting and terrifying at the same time.
Then ambition, and next we focus on inspiration. Get ready to reflect back and examine what it took to get here. Every mistake, every breakthrough, every moment that shaped the journey.
Always have been a big person on building relationships.
The end is coming. Who's ready for it?
Tonight reminded us this isn't just a business competition. It's a journey of the whole person.
Samantha's been carrying the weight of real loss. Losing her brother didn't break her. It made her who she is today. And you could see it in the way she leads now.
And Emily, what started as recovery from a life-changing accident has become a platform for helping others heal. That's not just business. That is purpose.
Mark's mission comes from a different kind of battle. His years in the military taught him what it means to protect, to serve, and make people feel safe. That's exactly what he's building. Something steady and something strong.
Donnie's push comes from a different fire. He's not chasing hype or riding on those dubious reputations of others. He's fighting to give real investors real opportunities. It takes guts, grit, and a lot of heart.
And Corey, he's a true visionary, out to shape something bigger than a brand or the size of his wallet. He sees the cracks forming in our relationship with technology, And his goal? To steer us away from the cold path of AI dystopia and toward a meaningful human-centered innovation. It's so big, it's hard to see from where most of us sit.
Every single one of them has their own impressive reasons for being here. Their own scars, their own spark.
Next time we honor that, not with numbers, not with our opinions, but with their truths.
These transformations are as real gets.
Can't wait to see them on the next Boardroom Battleground.